Okay, in this video, I will show you how to configure the second router, which is router port number 2. We have two serial 0 sub 0 slash 0, 203.0.113.2 slash 30. This is the DTE, digital terminating equipment. So we do not need to create a clock rate on this, because here in serial 0 sub 0 slash 0 configure as DCE, digital circuit equipment. Also, we need to configure the second serial port 0 sub 0 slash 1 to 3.0.114.1 slash 30 to connect to the router port number 3. Okay. In the trunking, we're gonna use, this is gonna be a trunking port 802.1Q trunking. So first of all we need to configure the DHCP, configure DHCP pools. This is the DHCP pool for router port number 2. Okay, you have a voice data, you create the DHCP pool for the data, and then for the voice. For the data is 10.20.0.0 network, and then for the voice is 10.25.0.0 network. You can create another DHCP pool, which is here called management pool. So you can put the network address 10.21.0.0. Okay. Just remember, for the DHCP pool you need to use this option 150 IP 10.25.0.1. Option 150 allow the DHCP to put a tag that once the IP phone connected, it will set up as a voice. They will put that in the voice VLAN. Okay, so after you finish configuring the DHCP pools, which is this one, these are the DHCP pools. Next, you need to configure the sub interface as in the previous lab. This is the sub interface for the router port number 2. You need to put 0 slash 0 dot 20, and then 0 slash 0 dot 21 for management VLAN, 0 dot 20 is for the data VLAN sub interface. This is for management VLAN sub interface, and then 0 slash 0 dot 25 for voice VLAN. Okay, so this procedure show you how to configure uh, to set up or configure the sub interfaces is router on the stick. Once you finish that, you need to configure routing protocol, which is here, the connection. Okay, notice that the serial 0 slash 0 dot slash 0 203.0.113.2 refer to here, and then this is the serial interface for serial 0 slash 0 slash 0, and then you have another one, which is this one, interface serial 0 slash 0 slash 1. The IP address is this one, 203.0.114.1 slash 30. That refer to interface serial 0 slash 0 slash 1. So this procedure, this configuration show you how to configure serial interface DCE and DTE. Notice that you put a clock right here. You can put either 128,000 kilobit per second or put 200,000. So when you finish serial interface, you need to configure the routing protocol, which is this one. Network EIGRP 10.0.0.0 is for the internal network, and then 203.0.113 is for this interface, and then you have 203.0.114 is for this interface to connect to the router port number 3. Okay, Similarly, you're gonna configure the, what you call this, after you finish configuring the EIGRP, you need to do the, what you call that, telephony services. Telephony services is you need to configure this dial peer, right? The dial peer voice one, VoIP destination parent one, dot dot dot. This connect allow you to make a connection to this phone, which is port number one. Okay. And then dial peer voice 2 destination 4004 dot dot dot, refer to allow router port 2 to call to this phone. So notice that the dial peer is very important here. One allow you to connect to the one to the port one extension, and destination parent 4 dot 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 allow you to connect to the router port number 3. Notice that the interface here is 11, session target is 1142 is for connection port number 3, and then 113.1 refer to connection to port number 1. Okay. As soon as you finish the dial peer, the next thing that you need to do is to set up the telephony services, set up the ePhone and directory number, and then assign the button to ePhone 1. You need to assign to button 1 dot button 1 colon 1. That means you're gonna use the first button using this extension, which is 5030. So don't forget to use copy run start and test connectivity. uh, One thing before I forget, I want to show you how to configure the switch. Remember, you need to set up a trunk connection between the router and the switch. So this is the command for that. This is switch enable run. So here you need to set up the trunk port here. The one is the trunk port, fast Ethernet 0/1 switch port trunk encapsulation. We use DOT 1Q, and then you set up this as a switch port mode trunk. Then for Ethernet number 2 here, fast Ethernet 2, you need to set up interface. Fast Ethernet 2, you put switch port access VLAN 20 as your native VLAN. This is for the data. And then you put the switch port voice VLAN 25 is for the voice VLAN. So here you create a dual VLAN. One is for VLAN 20 and the other one is VLAN 25, and set up this one as your trunk. Hope this video is information. Thank you.